We have a few hours to the beginning of the third session of the 8th Parliament. As you may know, the House rules on a very acrimonious note, condemned by many, all as a result of the passage of the controversial E-Levy. There were promises to mend the bridge and make compromises before the House resumes to, among other things, ensure a smooth passage of the E-Levy. But with just a few hours to go, there seemed not to be any sign of unity or compromise on the outstanding issues. The minority has reiterated its resolve to vehemently oppose the bill. They've been speaking at a town hall in Kumasi, from where Nanao Jima reports.
Speaking at the NDC town hall meeting in Kumasi, Elizabeth Ofosuejare says the levy will kill businesses in the country.
Yen NDC MPs, yebuye hopa, yen koju obisika, yenim se, ejuma na eda yenim no, eso chen sika.
We members of Parliament on the minority side are for the interest of the country. We can't be influenced by money, but we should bear in mind that a simple majority is needed for passage of the bill. So, if all the 138 members of majority are present on the day, the bill can be approved. But even if that should happen, we the NDC MPs have washed our hands off the E-Levy and its consequences. It is a tax that will not do any good for the country. If gold, cocoa and other natural resources couldn't save us, will this do?
The minority is proposing government consider retrieving the 12 billion cedis that was lost to corruption in 2020 as stated by the Auditor General's report to make up for the lost revenue. She further proposed a cut of government expenditures.
Auditor General's report, the year ending 2020, page 2. Auditor General akase sikabro 12 billion cedis na yayira into ketasishe any enyoma oya emfata.
Over 12 billion cedis, according to the Auditor General, has been lost to corruption and irregularities. We will tell the government to go after the money, which is more than the projected revenue from the E-Levy. Government will not get the projected amount since many will refuse to use the service when the bill is passed. Admitting government will get the projected amount cannot service corruption alone.
Na ye mechinchim ye maame mokon ye memiemia yensa enye 6.9 million to finance corruption. The answer is no.
Member of Parliament Finance Committee John Abujinapo says the economy is on its way to a total shutdown if urgent measures are not put in place. He describes the economy as one on life support.
The size of your GDP does not pay your debt. It does not service your debt. It's the revenues. If you look at a country like Japan, their debt to GDP is about 100%. But because the interest rate is just about 1% or 0.5%, they are able to pay. And also they are able to generate revenue in order to pay. So this 80% we are seeing is just a tip of the iceberg. Go and look at our total revenue, or more importantly, our tax revenue. Then you will get to know that this country is indeed on the path to a total shutdown and a total collapse. It's very serious. And anybody who is sincere and looks at our figures will tell you that this economy is just on life support. And sooner than later, if nothing is done to correct all these measures, the Ghanaian economy would face imminent and total collapse.
Mr. John Jinapo says increases in some taxes and levies have failed to rescue what he calls a failing economy.
These are taxes are bound way at 2021 country say you treat as a tax nyina bibia ebeko yamai. Omkache say Ghana for mon sacrifice maye. Mon tighten mobiles maye because the economy was on a turnaround. Sana Minister of Finance, Ghanaians complain. Ghana for be complaining about. You can say nyahwe. Some say you know a draw you know. Na say you humber toya 2021 you be no. 2021 abe endewi. Afe E-Levy is free for you. I think that's the question we ought to be asking the finance minister still. So despite all these sacrifices, why do you want to implement the E-Levy?
For Joy News, Nana Yaojima, Kumasi.
The minority in parliament is blaming the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, for the impasse over the electronic transaction levy. The minority argues that Mr. Ofori-Atta's intransigent posture and his refusal to make concessions led to the chaotic scenes in the chamber. Ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, James Ogaga, called for fresh negotiations to ensure that the two caucuses agree on the way forward. His call comes on the back of a similar call by the Speaker of Parliament, asking government to build consensus with the minority to ensure effective running of government business in the House.
And I think that the only way, as he himself said, was to get the two sides to consult more, to dialogue, to cooperate with each other, to compromise, to collaborate, and to achieve consensus. This is an imperative imposed on us, political leaders, by the people of Ghana. We have no choice. And so, when the other side fails to gather their numbers, and a decision doesn't favor them, the Speaker cannot be the cause. Because the Speaker is not counted among members of Parliament. I am not a member of Parliament in Ghana. The Speaker is not, and that is what we opted for. You just don't come in and say, because I'm the party in power, or I'm the individual who is the executive president, this is what I want, no more, no less. I say this clearly, not just from my experience, but from the knowledge of the option we took as a country. It is possible in Ghana to have a government with minority members of Parliament. And it is possible in Ghana to have an independent person being president of Ghana. That is the legal framework we crafted for ourselves. And so if we don't learn this and imbibe this culture of give and take, of jojo, of trying to look at the national interest, but look at parochial party interests, then our democracy will definitely not succeed. And it's not the prayer of anybody. At least with those who have experienced other systems of governance, that there should be some backsliding of our system.